Welcome to CallFire's Call Tracking Phone Numbers introductory video. Let's start on the summary page, and then we'll go into the details of a single phone number. On the summary page, you'll see all of your phone numbers listed at the far left, and then their transfer numbers just to the right. If your phone number does not have a corresponding transfer number, you can easily configure it, checking the box, choose Configure, and then configure tracking. There's a detailed video on that in our help section. To the right of your transfer numbers will be your labels. You can really easily add any other labels that you like. And then apply them, whatever that will help you to remember which number that is. Next, you'll see that you can see the status of whether that number can accept calls or not, as well as texts. You'll see that this number here cannot accept calls because it does not have a transfer number. Further to the right, you'll see the status of how many texts and calls have been received, as well as how many of those calls have been transferred. Lastly, you'll see the renewal date at the far right. If this is in red, then you've chosen to not renew this at the end of that renewal period. Up here you can see you can adjust the time period, which will allow you to see your statistics a little bit better. You may also search for any phone numbers or any portion of your phone numbers, as well as filter. In addition to these summary statistics, you may also see a detailed report by choosing one number or many to see the calls or text summary. And these graphs will give you a better view of the statistics of these numbers. You'll see the total at the top here, as well as some handy graphs at the bottom which show you all of your traffic with all the calls or texts between certain hours, such as 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., or seeing all your days added up, such as the Monday calls or the Wednesday calls. Looks like these folks are busy on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays between 2 and 3 and 4 and 6 to 7. When we go back to the summary page, you'll see that the calls and transfers can slightly differ. Whenever someone calls into a CallFire phone number, there's two legs of every call. The portion of the call that comes into CallFire on your phone number, for instance this one ending in 0965, and then the transfer out to the phone number, for instance the transfer number ending in 2289. In this case there was two legs of a single call, and this single call was transferred. However, the one just above it, you'll see there were 4 transfers, which would equal 8 calls, but there was 9 calls, so that means there was 1 call that was not transferred for whatever reason. Sometimes the phone is not picked up, or perhaps the caller simply hangs up before you have a chance to pick up. If you happen to want to share the individual results of each phone number, you could send this, for instance, to a client if you had 4 separate clients, and you only want to show them one number without giving them access to your entire CallFire account. Simply check off the box at the far left of phone number, choose Export or Share, and then Share Records. This will provide a link which you can easily email, and then they can view in their web browser. Here they'll see their phone number and the transfer numbers, as well as those statistics we had just seen, and they may also change the time period if they so choose. And then if they check on one of these numbers, they'll see all of the call records and text records listed there. More on that in a moment. So let's take a look at one of these phone numbers. You can easily access this number just by clicking on the number itself. This will bring you into everything related to that phone number. So what do we have? Well, at the top, you can choose to stop accepting calls or start accepting calls. And the same for text messages. If you so choose, you may reset all data. And here you'll see the familiar graphs that we'd seen before. Let's dive into call records. This is very, very informative, where you'll see, of course, the contact name at the far left. You'll see their number, or you'll see if it's been restricted. If you have that contact name in your contact lists, you will see that name. In the phone number, you'll see the number it was transferred to, as well as its status. Here you can see the one that had 4 transfers, but one of them did not transfer for whatever reason. And those are called live answers. For instance, there was a live person calling in, but it was not a received transfer on the other end. A good reason for this live answer was probably due to them just hanging up early with only 12 seconds of call time. To see more information on any of these, we can simply click on this entire row, and you'll see the call details on the far right will be exposed. Here is where you'll find the voicemail. You can listen to the voicemail here, or you can choose to download that voicemail. For blocking phone numbers, to block a phone number, on the far left you'll want to click on this tiny arrow and then click on the row just below its received transfer on the initial transfer row. When you choose that, in details on the far right, you'll see there's a block option. Feel free to click this if you do not want to receive calls from this number. Lastly, with reporting, you'll see that you can export all of these call details into a simple Excel or CSV, or you can download all the recordings. So any calls that did not have a recording of them will not be included. These will be sound files, and so you can easily email these if you like. Results filter. This is very handy if you just want to see the particular calls, for instance, received transfers, or if you just want to see others such as the ones you missed, the live answers. As in other pages, you can always adjust the time period here. As with call records, you'll see there's text records, as well as the text summary that we saw earlier. And along with text records, we have auto replies. With text messages, you can always receive on your local phone number, not on your toll-free number. If you do receive a text message on your local phone number, you can choose to create a standard auto reply here. Anyone text messaging into this number will receive this text message. Or you can have it be set to be a trigger word. Whenever someone says hi, for instance, this is the message they'll get. If you'd like, for instance, to send out an RSVP, whenever someone comes back as yes, you can say, glad you'll make it. Lastly, in the call settings, if you have configured your number successfully, you would have seen this screen before. And so this is how to get back to that screen to change your transfer numbers and any other options available to you. Please ensure you always choose to save changes at the bottom left. Well, that about covers it for the CallFire call tracking phone numbers. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call. We're always happy to help. Our number is 877-897-3473. Thanks again for joining me, and hope you enjoy your day. Bye for now.